Well, good morning. Another week in the high maintenance hangar. Jan is still working on this RV7 up here. Had a bunch of problems with the EGT or exhaust gas temperature probes for the Dynon screens. 3 of the 4 were really being stupid. Let me walk up there and show you what's going on. Okay, so Jan is finishing up the annual maintenance on this aircraft, and it's really a pretty airplane, but we're replacing the EGTs. Let me turn on the instruments. Okay, that would be correct. So what Jan is looking at, that top set of values, that's EGTs, and if you see number 2 and number 4, right now they are not hooked up. So we've been hooking them up one at a time just to verify operation. So we're gonna shut off the power as we install each one. So stand by. But a very fine build.
Okay, there's number 4.
Jan has number 4 hooked up. And yeah, everything's looking great. So
This is EGT number 2. Okay, power off.
hang on. Okay, power's off.
Okay. Okay, you should have a full panel there.
All right. We've got everything else hooked up. So let's see what that means. Okay. Yeah, that's much nicer, Jan. Those are all doing their things. Yep. We've got between 66 and 70 across the board. So, okay, so now that operationally they work, these have got to go back into the exhaust pipes wherever that is. I didn't take them apart, but they'll... Okay, so here's the probe that actually goes in the exhaust, and there's going to be an associated hole in the exhaust pipe, and I didn't take these apart, so I'm not sure where the hole is. Jan will be taking care of that. But some of the trouble that he had when he was taking this apart, this was one of the exhaust gas temperature probes just melted off. So we'll get this all back together again, then go take it for another test and make sure everything's good, and then he can finish this inspection. Okay, so we got all of those EGTs in there. We've got the forward cowl on. Not putting the spinner on yet because it just makes it too hard to get around here. But I'm happy to report that EGT issue is now no longer a thing. Jan just has some paperwork to do, and the guy can come get this airplane and get it out of my way, because we need to get the starduster out of the way so we can get the scaffolding in place so that we can lay out the holes in the backup strips for the gap seal, for the outer gap seal on this side. So hopefully by Friday, when I come in again, Jan will have that airplane out of here. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. Well, so a little over a week ago, there was a tragedy in Oklahoma. As many of the A26 groups are now aware, Lady Liberty had a takeoff incident in Oklahoma where the nose landing gear broke and forced them into the grasses of Oklahoma. Nobody was seriously hurt. There were some bumps and bruises, and the NTSB is looking into the causes of it. I've spoken to some of the members, and they're all okay. The biggest drag is that it's a true patriot in every sense of the word. It's the oldest airframe in the A26 society, especially in the flying airframes. We're hoping that it will be possible to put that aircraft back in the air again in the future. It's going to require a lot of work, a lot of money. We'll see what happens. A couple of weeks ago, before I went to Pennsylvania, Jan and I were working on gap seals and trying to come up with all of the backup strips. Well, years ago, when this process actually started, before we really understood what we needed to do, Jan had already done some preliminary fabrication on some parts, and he had drilled some holes here, and well, he had drilled holes here so that he could then he drilled a hole here so he could hold it in place, and then he used a center line to mark the locations of the other rivets. Well, now we got to go back and we've got to open these up so we can rivet this in so we can get the gap seal installed. So that's what we're going to do now. So it's about at this time that I had a mistake that I made in not placing my camera in a secure spot. It was when I was trying to get ready to mark out the holes for those retaining straps for the gap seals, and it fell out of the wing rut all the way to the concrete, broke the camera. I was so bummed. My daughter had given it to me, and so I was really bummed. So I called her and explained the situation. She says, "Oh, Dad, that sucks, but take it to Best Buy. That's where I bought it." So that's what I did today, and fortunately, they were able to refund the money on the original one and sell me a new one, and so I'm back in business. But so the next couple of scenes were done with my GoPro and my phone. So enjoy. It really is. Oh, maybe I fixed it. Oh. Oh. Okay, I only have to do that 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more times. And then we'll be able to start drilling. If you're a regular watcher of my videos, you saw that I went to Pennsylvania to hang out with the rebuild rescue crew. But I had some extraordinary things happen that I want to mention. When I was boarding the plane in Salt Lake City, I was talking to the ground crew at the gate, and I was virtually the last one on the plane because I didn't get superior seating because I don't fly commercially hardly at all. But I was talking about the channel to the guy at the gate. His name was Thomas, and I gave him I have a card for my YouTube channel. I gave that to him, told him what we're doing. He thought that was really cool. So I went went through the jetway, got on the airplane. And fortunately, it was a lightly loaded airplane, and I got the very front seat, which was really cool. All the leg room I want, and instant access to the restroom and snacks and so on and so forth. Anyway, next thing I know, Thomas is at the front of the airplane. He picks up the mic and says, "Mustang Bob 51, where are you?" And I said, Yeah, I'm right here. Oh, he handed me $100 bill for the airplane, which, wow, thank you, Thomas. I really appreciate it. Thomas, thank you. Then I got on the plane in Pennsylvania to come home, and it was a heavily loaded airplane. So, matter of fact, I checked my bags because they needed room. They were going to start taking people's bags without asking them. Anyway, that's the long story short. I got on the airplane, basically the last person to get on again, and there was a seat right in the front behind the pilot side that was vacant. And I looked at the two guys sharing that were there, and I says, "What do you guys, what do you think?" And the one kid says, "Well, I'll move. That's my dad. I'll sit next to him." I gave them a card, told them about the YouTube channel in the 3.5 hours we flew, and by the end of the flight, they had bought me a beer, and they gave me $200 for the airplane. So, just amazing what has been offered to support this airplane over the years. And now Jan has another story. So,
So one of the guys in the Stewart S51 group that I belong to, Dennis Sargentsinger, he texted me one day after watching one of the videos that Bob had done showing how we jacked up the airplane to put the skates underneath the main gear. He texted me, he says, "Hey, we have some excess inventory on a single point jack. Are you guys interested in it?" I said, "Well, yeah, let's see what it is and what's it all about." And so he texted me some pictures, showed me what it was about, and he says, "This will fix all your guys' problems. You don't have to use those big gray jacks going back and forth, jacking up a wing and then another jack to jack it up a little further, then put the skate on, then take the jacks back out, kind of the real nonsense." So this single point jack that Dennis has sent over is going to be an immense help in shuttling this airplane up and down to put skates on it to get it out of the hangar in an unconventional way that we're going to do this. So, Dennis, thanks a million for all of your help, and we appreciate the contribution. And this goes a long ways towards making this airplane much more easily handled to move it in and out of this hangar. So, thanks, Dennis.
all I can say is Dennis, Thomas, Shane, and Hunter, thank you guys, and thank all of our peeps that support this channel. And it's just amazing to me the outpouring that comes to support this project. I want to say thanks to all of you. Thanks for watching our videos. Hopefully my camera won't take very long getting fixed because this is painful, but we'll get it fixed, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, and share out and like our videos if you wouldn't mind.